Welcome to today's workshop on getting started with private notes. Here's what we'll cover in today's workshop. Private note examples, a preview of each private note type. We'll be creating private notes. I'll show you how to add a private note using the AccessAlly plugin, and private note objectives, tracking completion of private notes and requiring approval. For our private note examples today, we're going to cover the private course note, question and answer, admin initiated note, the admin reviewed answer, and the custom private note type. For this workshop, because there will be some pieces I'll be doing behind the scenes as an admin, you'll see admin Kimberly on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of the screen is Joan. Joan is the participant that will be completing each private note type during this workshop. So here we are on the welcome base page, which lists all the goals, and we're going to click next. So the first type of private note that we will see is the private course note. The private course note is designed to be used like a sheet of notebook paper. Basically, when you have a private course note on a page, you can use that spot to take notes as a client moving through and offering in an AccessAlly site. So I'm going to use some placeholder text for this note right now. And clicking save will save that information, and it also completes that objective on the page. Now I'm going to go ahead and click next to go to our next private note type. The next type is a question and answer note. With the question and answer, this allows for someone to reply to the question, and an admin could answer the question, or it could just stay like that. So the question here is just a simple question, what's your favorite color? So we'll go ahead and fill out Joan's favorite color. Once again, this one is automatically completed when Joan fills it out. And we'll go ahead and click next to go to our next private note type. Our next private note type is called the admin initiated note. You'll notice that here, Joan doesn't have any steps that she can take. So with this one, an admin on the site is going to send a reply to Joan here inside the site. And now I'm going to send a reply to Joan from inside the site as an admin. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to the site, and I'm going to scroll down until I get to the AccessAlly section. Under AccessAlly, I'm going to go ahead and click Private Notes. When you need to send an admin initiated note, you're going to click Initiate, and then you'll select the page that your private note is on. And here is mine right here. This page is called Admin Initiated. And then it's going to reference the note, which is here on the page. And you just click Create Notes. Next, you can search by name or email and find your participant. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more, and I'm going to click this box that says Add Note. So right here, if you're sending a one-on-one call replay, you might be embedding a video from Vimeo, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the embed code for the video that I'm going to send to Joan of her call replay. So I have got that located right here, and I'm just going to copy this information. And I'm going to switch this over to HTML, and I'm going to go ahead and start typing out my note. And once I add that, I can go ahead and click Save to save the changes here, and the replay of her coaching call will appear. So now I'm going to refresh this page so that we can see Joan's view of this page. And you'll note that this has now been marked complete because the replay has been posted by an admin. So that is an example of how the admin initiated note type works. Now we're going to continue on to the next note type, which is the admin reviewed answer. So on this page, Joan needs to download a business overview, complete the business overview, and then send the results of her completed PDF back to you as the creator of the course. So we're going to go ahead and add our note right here as Joan with her completed details from this PDF. So I'll go ahead and click the pencil, And I'm going to add an attachment, and this is where Joan is going to add her attached file of her completed business overview. Now I will click Save to send that in, and we can see that that objective for download and complete has been finished, but we can see that the business overview approval has not been completed yet. That's because it's waiting on me as the site admin to review the approval for the business overview. So what we're going to do next is pop over to the admin window, and we're going to look for this private note. So we can click private notes to get back to our private note panel. And here is the one that has just come in from Joan with her business overview. We can click on that to open it in a new window and see what Joan has answered on her worksheet. And we can go right back in and apply and reply to the private note along with approving the private note too. So let's click reply. And we'll go ahead and click reply and approve. So once we click apply and approve, we can come back over and view Joan's view. So what's great about this particular objective is now Joan can see and reference what she sent in. She can see the reply from the admin or the creator of the program. And also it will go ahead and mark that as completed once she has been approved by an admin. So that is our admin reviewed answer note type. Now it's time to take a look at the last note type, the only one that we haven't seen so far inside this course. So you'll see that now we have a note type called custom. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom note type together just so that I can show you behind the scenes how this note type works. And of course, we'll look at all of our other types as well, but let's go ahead and dive into this custom note type. So for this part, I'm going to go back into AccessAlly, and I'm going to click on offerings. And you'll see all the offerings that I have here on this site, and I'm just going to click the private note offering. And right here, I've got a spot already set up for my custom private note. So what I'm going to do is click on my custom private note, and I'll zoom in a little bit to make it easier to see. All right, so here we are on the WordPress page that holds the note. So let's talk about adding notes and how you create a private note inside AccessAlly. So if you scroll all the way down on the page until you get to the Progress Ally page settings, you can click on private notes and then click add a new note. And you want to give it a descriptive name so that you can find it if you're looking for the page or the note inside AccessAlly. So this is going to be my custom private note. And I'll go ahead and open up the drop-down. And this is where you can give the note some context. So if we're looking at a private note, let's go back and talk about the context. The context is going to appear right here at the top of a private note. This is the action you want the person with the private note to take. And this way you can give them some information, and then it's easier for you to find it as well. So for this private note, I'm going to put share your feedback. And this is going to be used to gather feedback or possibly a testimonial from Joan as a participant inside this course. So creating a place for someone to share how they are progressing through your course and what they loved about it, or maybe some opportunities, is a great way to use private notes. So we're going to do share your feedback as a participant of this course. And down here, you can change your placeholder text. That's what someone will see when they see the pencil edit button. So right here is where that would appear. So for this part, I'm going to put share here. And I'm going to switch this over to a custom note type. You'll notice that custom has a few places that you can add additional information. So the first thing is you could turn this into an admin initiated note. Remember, the admin initiated note is where someone gets to the page and they do not see any note information. They only see what's going to happen when an admin initiates the note. So for this type of gathering feedback, the admin initiated would not be a great option because this would not allow Joan to share her feedback. Next, we're going to look at the require admin approval to complete the corresponding objective. So if you wanted it to be mandatory that someone leaves feedback at the end of your course, you could set this to require admin approval. And then once they submit feedback, you could approve it as an admin, which would then complete the objective and potentially release something that someone would get in exchange for leaving their feedback. So an option for using this might be if you wanted to have a chat session with someone, like a virtual coffee, and after they submit their feedback, they could schedule a virtual coffee session with you. That would be a great way to use the require admin approval to complete the corresponding objective. This way, once they send in their feedback, you could have it take them to a page to book their virtual coffee date with you. The next one is the max number of replies. So if you set this right here to -1, that means that this note would never close and your participant could always come back and they would always see the pencil edit button. So let's take a look at the pencil edit button really quick. This button right here is controlled by the number of replies. So if we set it to -1, this edit button would always be here, and this participant could always come back and add more. And also with that, if we set it to 1, this means that there would only be one reply available. So once the participant over here sends in their reply, and once an admin replies back, this pencil edit button would disappear and it would no longer be able to receive new replies. So it's very important to look at the max number of member replies when you're thinking about your private notes setup. So right now, I'm going to leave this set to -1, and then you'll see options for notifications. So in the custom note type, you have two options for notifications. Notify admins when members create a comment or reply, and also notify members when an admin replies. This does not apply to the first admin-initiated comment. So if we check both of these options, then when an admin receives a member comment on the site, it would then send an admin notification. And also, if we set it to notify the members when an admin replies, then if this is not an admin-initiated note, it will send the member an email notification that an admin has replied. So once again, let's look at our note types here, because admin-initiated is the only note type that it will not send when an admin leaves their first comment. So this part is very important in terms of how you might set up your admin-initiated note and even how you might set up your text. So for example, if I put your call replay will appear here by next business day, then this way the person knows to check back on the site because they will not get a notification email. All right, so what we're going to do right now is save our new custom private note, and we're going to do that by clicking publish. So the first part to any private note is setting the private note up inside the private notes tab in AccessAlly. The second part is adding the private note to the page. And this is done the same way no matter what private note type you've created. You'll go to your AccessAlly shortcode generator and select private note. From there, you can select current post if you're on the page where your private note is, or you can select any page on your site if you want to add one from a different page. So I'm going to leave this set to current post, and you'll see that my custom private note has appeared. That's why naming your private notes is so important. If you have a lot that you're selecting from a dropdown and they all have the same name, it makes it harder to find them. Next, we're going to click Generate Shortcode. We'll copy our shortcode. And now we're going to come to the website. In your content section, this part can vary based on your WordPress theme or page builder. I am just using Gutenberg, no page builder here for this page. So I can click plus add block and I can select a short code and I can paste it right in. So the moment I do that and click update, what's going to happen is now if we go as Joan here and look at Joan's view, now that is popped up so that Joan can fill out that private note. So adding your short code to the page is what allows the participant to see the short code. So next we could decide if we want to make this part of an objective or not. And if we do, we could review our settings here. So if I want to make this an admin initiated or require approval, if I check this box, now when Joan sends in her feedback, it would require an admin approval to move to the next step, which can be great if you want to do that virtual coffee date for anyone who fills out the feedback. But for right now, I'm going to leave require admin approval set to off, and I'll go ahead and update this. So that is how you add your private note to the page, and then your participant is able to fill it out. So now that we have seen Joan's full view inside this course, and we've seen Joan complete each objective type, let's look behind the scenes at how each one is built. So we're going to start with our private note type. So let's go ahead and go to our private course note. And for this part, I'm going to bump back out of this view. I'll hit update to save my changes, and I'll just view the page, and I will become back on the private course note. So our views are the same, mine and Joan's right now. If you click edit page on this page, remember the first step to any private note is going to be to go to the bottom of your page, click on private notes, give it a descriptive name, and then add your context. So the prompt part is going to be what appears at the top of the note. And then you have your placeholder, which appears by your pencil edit button. And for the private course note type, there are some important things to know about this note. So private course notes are where members take notes specific to that page, and admins do not get notified when these notes are taken. Members can come back and update their notes as often as they like. So as Joan, now that Joan has left her first note, if Joan were to click the pencil, her information would still be here and she could leave a second note. And once Joan clicks save, it will retain both. And then Joan could continue on down the page for forever and ever and keep adding to this note. So using a private course note is great if you want a place where somebody can always add something and always refer back to it. So that makes the workflow really great because it's keeping a constant sheet of notebook paper for Joan about her experience in the course. Now we're going to take a look. And remember, once you add it at the bottom, you want to make sure you go back up to the top of your page, and you're going to use your AccessAlly shortcode generator to grab the code for your private note. You just go to private note, and your note type will appear on your current post. You could also select a specific page if it's on another page. You just click generate shortcode, copy, and then you're just going to paste it where you would like that private note to appear on your WordPress page. And then you just click update. So now let's look at our second note type. So we're going to view this page, and we'll go on to the question and answer note type. So here we are on the question and answer note type. And if we click edit page, we can see more details about this note type. This note type is going to be down at the bottom under the private notes tab. And remember, you're going to start with the prompt or the question that you want them to answer. So for me, I put in, what is your favorite color? And so that is the placeholder text that appears above the box for the answer. And then I'm just using the default. Click here to enter your note. And you'll notice this question and answer type is selected. Now with question and answer, it's really important to note that right now, Joan can still edit this answer. So we still see the pencil. Joan could still make changes. She could say, no, my favorite color really is blue. But what's important about this part is that admins are going to get notified when the note is submitted. Members get notified when an admin replies. Members cannot change the content of their note once an admin has replied. So with the question and answer type, the text will remain editable here. They can make changes and save up until the point where an admin comes to the site and clicks on private notes. And then right here, we see Joan's response. Now, as an admin, if I come over here and click reply, once I reply to this private note, that will then lock in the private note. And so if Joan comes back at a future time, notice the box has now disappeared. So once the admin replies, it locks the question and answer note type. So one thing that we see a lot with the question and answer is that you wanted multiple replies to the question and answer, but the box is locked, so the person cannot reply. So if you ever run into this situation, you can go back into your private note and change it to custom and change the number of replies. Like, for example, adding -1. That way they will still see the same question. They will still be able to put their answer in, but now the answer will not be locked once an admin has replied. Okay, and just remember with your question and answer type, your last step is to make sure you add the shortcode to your page inside WordPress. So let's go ahead and do that step for this private note as well. So if we are looking at our question and answer private note, we'll go to AccessAlly shortcode generator. We'll select private note. Our question and answer private note will appear. We can generate our shortcode, copy it, and then paste it onto the page where you would like it to appear. And then all you do is click update. That is what allows this box to be seen by Joan as your participant. Now we're going to talk about the admin initiated note. So remember with your admin initiated note, this is the type that you see it as an admin. They do not automatically see anything populated here. So with admin initiated note, it's going to show the placeholder text only. It's waiting for an admin to select this specific person to send them something unique, like a call replay that's a private one-on-one coaching call, or a resource, for example, maybe some coaching resources based on a client call that you want to send to that one specific person. So when Joan is here, Joan sees only her coaching call replay. If Tammy visits, she sees only her coaching call replay, and so on and so on. So with the admin initiated note, your placeholder text becomes extra important because they will not get an email letting them know that an admin has initiated a note. So you need to add a description that lets them know when and how to find it. So for this one, we're going to click Edit Page. And then remember, behind the scenes with your admin initiated note, all you do is click Private Notes. You're going to select the admin initiated note type from your list. You can add placeholder text if you would like, or you can leave this part blank because they're not clicking the pencil to edit it. And then right here is the prompt that they will see. And then remember this note type, once you add it to the page using the AccessAlly shortcode generator, you're going to always fill this private note type out from inside the AccessAlly plugin. So remember with that private note type, you would go to AccessAlly, you would go to private notes, and you would select initiate. You would select the page that you're going to be using for the note and create notes. And then you're going to find the person and you're going to add the note. And remember, these notes can include HTML if you would like to embed a replay from Vimeo, for example. But you can also use the editor if you just need to send links or resources. So for example, you might say, here's a recipe on lemon chess pie, and you might include your recipe just like that. And once you create your resource, you can use your options to open it in a new tab. So that way, when they get the resource, they won't lose their current page. And then remember, all you need to do from there is go ahead and click Save to send that note to that recipient. All right, so now we've covered the admin initiated note. Let's go ahead and review the admin reviewed answer. So how you create this one in the back end of AccessAlly, let's go ahead and visit our site, and we're going to get to this spot in our course. That's going to be the admin reviewed answer. And from here, our admin reviewed answer for this one has a download. They complete the download and then they upload their answers, and then it gets approved. So for this private note type admin reviewed answer, let's scroll down and build it behind the scenes together. We're going to click private notes, and we're going to select the admin reviewed answer type. And from here, we're going to give the context or the placeholder prompt that will appear above the private note. And then we're going to review our things to know about the admin reviewed answer note type. So with this note type, it can be used with objectives, and the objective is only marked complete when an admin approves the answer. So here, Joan is not able to complete this objective type on her own. It is waiting for an admin to approve her submission. Members will be notified when an admin replies. So the moment this is replied to by an admin, the participant will get an email in their inbox. And then members cannot change the content of their note once an admin has replied or approved it. So notice how this has a check mark by it, meaning that it's been approved. And now Joan cannot edit this answer. Joan can leave a new answer if she would like, but she cannot edit or make changes to this original. So those are the details about the admin reviewed answer. So with that note type, remember, once you select it, you're going to come back up to the top, choose the shortcode generator to add it to the page. So we're going to choose private note, and we will generate our shortcode and copy it into place. And then with this note type, we're going to also use the objectives inside AccessAlly. You can use this with any note type, but it's only completed and checked off by an admin with this option. So if we click on objectives, we can see that there is a protected content objective added here to download the business overview, which is the PDF that goes along with this course. And then we've got our note type, and it's set to our admin reviewed answer, and it just says that it's been approved. So for this example, we can go ahead and add that shortcode to the page using the AccessAlly shortcode generator. And then remember, this type is always approved under the private notes section. Once you're inside the private notes, you will see all of the ones that require admin approval. So if it says apply, if it says reply and approve, that would be one that requires admin approval. So what I'm going to do is set this to admin replied so you can see that example. And this one will be an example of one that has had the reply approved.
Thank you for joining in for today's workshop on creating private notes with AccessAlly. If you would like to sign up for our workshop notifications, go to accessally.com/webinars. That way you'll never miss a live workshop.